Good morning. Thanks, Rob, for having this with us here in Brussels today. I'm Nicolas. I'm the editorial director of the LIFT conference. And what I would like to do in the next maybe 5 to 10 minutes is to give a brief overview of what myself as a researcher I'm interested in when it comes to networked object or the Internet of Things. That's why I entitled this presentation Preconceptions about Users in a Networked Object, because I'm interested in how designers, engineers, strategists have certain assumptions, preconceptions about how people will use those technologies. The aspirations of people, the motivation of people is somewhat scripted in the object by all the assumptions designers or engineers make about them. And if we get back to the history of computing, of course this issue has already been a problem. If you look at the past, there's this book by Henry Dreyfus about how people are, what are their measures, how they look like. This was the sort of model of people that was inscripted, that was thought about when people design computers and applications. If you look at what happened at Xerox PARC, people who created or designed operating systems based their thinking on this user, this sort of stereotypical user, Sally, the typewriter, who should be able to use a computer as she used to employ a typewriter in the past. And the computer of today has been derived from the preconceptions those people, those engineers and designers at the Xerox PARC thought about when they were creating a device based on what Sally would do. And if we think about what the computer is today, I really love this sort of representation by Dan O'Sullivan, who created this based on what a computer is today. The way we use a computer is using our eyes, our fingers, and our ears. And that's the model, the sort of stereotypical model of a computer today. And what we don't want with the networked object or the Internet of Things is that it should be as limited as this kind of representation. So there are some preconceptions or assumptions about what users are and what they want when designers, engineers, or other stakeholders are creating networked objects. And I will do a very, very brief overview of what those stereotypical preconceptions or assumptions are. The first one is the idea that users want to see and interact with objects with their eyes. So we have plenty of artifacts like this, which are, of course, very, very important and interesting when it comes to picture. That's an important screen. But there are others that, like the networked fridge, the smart fridge, or all those other devices which are based on a different model, but also have a screen that is not maybe very important in the context of the user. It is there because people have the assumptions that the users might really want to interact with his eyes or her eyes. And we have problems with screens for a long time. Like this is an example, a picture I've taken in a flight where the screen, the displays, has some troubles, obviously, and it's rebooting. Do we really want the Internet of Things to be an Internet of screens? That's a question I'm interested in. Of course, for some applications, for some device, it's important to have a screen, like the nice Philips photo frame that I showed a few minutes ago. But for others, is it really important to always interact with our eyes, with screens? I don't know, there might be some other senses that could be used. Another problem, another assumptions that is made about users, especially with all those live logging devices, those network pedometers that we can have today, it's the idea that people want number and users are all about quantitative informations. And of course, this is only part of reality. I mean, we don't want our life to be that our life is only a pie chart. Our life is richer than the numbers. It could be different. Of course, computing and electronic devices is all about numbers. But could we make those devices much richer using different system that would encompasses the richness of life, and that is not just numbers and quantitative, because other phenomena are qualitative and they should be taken care of. There is also these assumptions in lots of network objects and network applications that users need to be persuaded. There is this idea of persuasive computing where with network object that logs information about yourself, the device will tell you that you should change your behavior, that you should do this, that you should run more, you should exercise a bit more, that you should eat less fat food. If you type persuasive computing and behavior modification in Google Scholar, you get all these different very interesting papers. But the problem I see here is that when you try to embed this kind of persuasion in a device, it somewhat takes the responsibility out of people and put it in the device itself. And that could be a very important problem if you start blaming objects for your own behavior. So I believe that really that network things should go beyond this kind of device and assist people and maybe not persuade them. Another problem is that lots of, we have the same issue with computers in the past as well. So we all use network objects that tries to automate things, like if I have my phone that can tell other people where I'm located in space. Of course, it can ease my life and the way I communicate with other people, because I don't have to tell them where I am. But it's very, very different than me sending my friends an SMS or calling them what I'm doing now and where I'm located. This is very different because the device itself may automatically send this information to others. But the difference here is that when you don't send this information yourself, there is no intention in this message. When the device tells my friend that I'm here at email today, and it tells this information every 5 minutes, it's not the same if I send an SMS, even a group SMS to all my friends telling them that I'm here. If I do that, it means that I want to communicate an intention to my friends, telling them that if I'm here, maybe you could come over. If I'm here, it's important for me to tell this to them. Whereas if it's a computer, if it's a network device that gives this information to my friends, it may be just random noise for my friend. And the last thing, the last assumptions about people, about users, is that in lots of cases, in lots of network objects I observe, there is this idea, this sort of patronizing model that users should not be able to open the black box. The device is closed, you could not change it. And this is really a problem. If we try to patronize users in this way, it's really bad. And what I think today, you will see different examples of people, of researchers or entrepreneurs who try to go beyond this kind of problem. So today is really about alternative possibilities, about what network object, the Internet of Things, the Internet of Goods, ubiquitous computing can be. And as Rob said a few minutes ago, the point of discussing all this information is really to have design guidelines and to really take care of all these issues I mentioned, all the problems I mentioned, but others that some of the speakers here will mention. So my conclusion here is that there are preconceptions about people that are inscribed, put in objects, networked objects we'll be talking about. And what we don't want is that those objects tend to a sort of oversimplification of what people are, what people want, what are people's motivation. And there's really a need for less utilitarian or less patronizing model. And I believe the presentation we will have today will try to answer that question. Thank you very much.